Riverside Province. The Ullin River originates from the farthest south of the Footprint Lakes. The river flows west into the jungle and then turns decidedly south at the Henge of Dinravi. Its swift currents and shallow inlets would make it an ideal trading river, but for the fact that there are few settlements on its banks. Welcome back to the Guild Wars 1 Let's Play, everybody. In order to reach the Riverside Province, you can complete the primary quest titled Passage Through the Dark River, where Old Jonas grants you passage from the Tangle Route after showing him a seal from a Shining Blade member named Shadow in the Henge of Dinravi. Alternatively, you can travel through the explorable zones, however this would require you to backtrack through most of Maguma and then through several Crichton zones to get south to Riverside Province. The Riverside Province is the southernmost settlement in Kryta, and the Shining Blade have asked Isobel and her party to retrieve the Scepter of Orr from the Temple of the Unseen, which we saw at the end of Bloodstone Fen. Avenia and the Shining Blade want the Scepter to aid them in their fight against the White Mantle. The White Mantle heavily patrol the region with 9 watchtowers stationed across the province, keeping an eye on everything that moves. Our main mission objective is to avoid capture at all costs and rendezvous with Dynas at the Temple of the Unseen. You may remember Dynas as the scribe we saved from Hakewood outside the Temple of Tolerance along the Delesio seaboard. Man, that seems like forever ago at this point. Once we retrieve the scepter, we are to make for the coast to the east of the temple and escape without being discovered by the White Mantle. As was the case in the wilds, you can see that I had another friendly player help me this time. A player by the name of Minerva kindly offered to help us out and ensure that we could complete the bonus, which are getting increasingly difficult to complete with just the henchmen and their basic AI. Minerva brought an A-team of mercenaries, which are different from the henchmen and heroes I've spoken of before. The mercenary feature allows you to take other player characters you've created and add them to your party. This system is very cool and adds a level of customization that cannot be reached with the AI alternatives provided by the base game. While the main mission objective asks that we avoid capture, the bonus flips that on its head and tells us that instead we need to link up with Saidra and ensure that the way is clear for supplies to flow through the province. This requires us to engage and neutralize each of the 9 watchtowers I mentioned previously. The mob density around the watchtowers is probably the largest we've seen so far in the game, with a mixture of knights, savants, abbots, and now ritualists who cast necromancer skills. You can see that the 3-person White Mantle patrols are easily dealt with, and we were able to clump up the watchtower mobs by getting close enough, making it easy to AoE them down. Consider bringing whatever AoE skills you have in your arsenal, as they will be used to great effect here. Spell denial skills are also effective to shut down the caster types. I used Chaos Storm and Cry of Frustration to cause AoE and Mass Interrupt, while Minerva's mercenaries absolutely crushed the mobs. You can see that he brought a Minion Mancer, which effectively doubled our party size, and it's also worth noting that the 2 guards at the top of the towers cannot be targeted with your projectile skills, but as with most Z-axis and line of sight situations in the game, you can use your spells on them. Since the mission is not timed, we take the time to go east across the map and neutralize every tower before approaching the Temple of the Unseen to progress to the main mission objective. This will have an added benefit later, and as soon as you take care of the last tower, you will get credit for the bonus and now need to backtrack towards the temple. The rest of the mission is much the same after you deal with the first tower. Once you get to the Temple of the Unseen, dispatch the small contingent inside the temple and speak to Dinas to get a cutscene. Remember, as Minerva has control over most of the party, he is the leader in the cutscenes.
My friends, it is good to see you again. I didn't think when we met off the Delesio seaboard that I would be giving you the Scepter of Orr. Come, you must not linger here. The zealots will be back soon. I will show you the quickest escape route. To the east is a bridge that will take you over the Ullin River to safety. Stay off the beaten path, and whatever you do, avoid the watchtowers. Many men have died for this. Guard it with your life.
The Scepter of Orr! It's been stolen! The thieves are heading east toward the Ullin River. They won't get far.
There are 2 watchtowers between here and the river. If they try to go past, they will be cut. If they stop to ponder a way around, we will catch them.
No one who steals from the White Mantle lives long enough to enjoy the spoils.
After speaking with Dinas and retrieving the scepter, flee the White Mantle pursuit to the east out of the side gate by pulling a lever. You'll need to make sure that you keep your party heading east, as the White Mantle is now chasing you to prevent you from getting away with the scepter. This portion of the mission also has some undead that will patrol into your party's path as you see in the footage. Watch out for the Condis and the cripples from the Hellhounds and interrupt the Rangers to prevent them from harming your party. You can avoid the hill giants if you stick to the southern part of the path, and as you can see, we don't have to deal with the extra White Mantle since we cleared them earlier while we were neutralizing each of the towers for the bonus objective. Cross the bridge and trigger the end of mission cutscene.
The Scepter of Orr. The time for retribution against our oppressors has finally arrived.
I thought the point of stealing the scepter was to keep it from the mantle. How are we going to use it?
We can't, but Vizier Kilbron can. I negotiated a treaty with the former advisor to the King of Orr. In exchange for the scepter, the good Vizier has agreed to aid us in our fight against the mantle.
Vizier Kilbron, what can one man do that we can't do for ourselves?
The Vizier is a very powerful mage. He can show us the path that will lead to our victory. Come now, the sun will be rising soon, and we must prepare for our journey to meet the Vizier.
What news of Marcus? Marcus? Why would we have news of him? He didn't meet you outside the temple? No, we knew of no such plan. Maybe he'll catch up with us at the docks. Let's go. Even the Mantle are smart enough to find their way across that river. We'd best not be here when they do.
Alright, so it looks like the Shining Blade are actually only interested in the scepter to hand it over to a man named Vizier Kilbron, a mage that apparently survived the sinking of the human nation of Orr after the Cataclysm. Saindra also tells us that we were supposed to meet with the high-ranking Shining Blade operative named Marcus at the Temple of the Unseen, but it's unclear why he didn't show up. Though if you've been watching the cutscenes from previous missions carefully, you already kind of know why. I want to make sure that I thank Minerva once again for the help with the mission. That bonus would have been impossible and taken me forever to complete with just the henchman AI. I'll see you guys next time at Sanctum K, the last mission on the mainland before things take yet another turn in Isobel's journey.